All of you just joining in, welcome as you come in. We're going to get started very, very soon, but you're joining the Ultimate Lite for AI and warehouse cost optimization. We're excited to have you today, and we've got some really exciting announcements. So we're very excited for you to join us in this presentation. And definitely, if you have questions, keep those. Ask them in the chat. We will get to them. We're going to move pretty quickly to get through the prepared material so that we can get in and out, hopefully within 30 minutes, and have you on your way and get you to maybe even try out this product today and see the benefits that you can get. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and jump in. So real quick, there's two of us on the call today. They're going to be presenting. Myself, Matthew Halliday, and also CEO and co-founder of Altimate, Pranesh. And so we're super excited to be here. Both of us have a lot of experience in the data and analytics space, working with customers, building products, and bringing them to market. So very happy to be here with you all today. And we're going to jump into a few things that we've seen from the customers that we've been working with. As you can imagine, one of the big hot topics is around AI at this time. A lot of people are doing things with AI. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to see here. So today we're going to be discussing AI is powerful, but unchecked, it can be exceedingly expensive. We're going to look at what are some of the current optimization options. We're going to look at what we've shipped here with Ultimate Lite for AI and warehouse cost optimization. We're going to look at some real world results as part of our private preview. We are no longer in private preview. This is live currently on the Snowflake marketplace. So you can go and experience it today. You don't have to wait, but we do want to share those results with you. We want to explain why it works so well. Why do we get those results? We're also going to jump into a live demo of the product, but Pranesh is going to go in and give us a walkthrough through some of the key screens and just show just how easy it is to enable auto-tune on your warehouses. And then probably one of the things that you must stick around for is the transparent and fair pricing. We have done something very unique and different when it comes to pricing. We're really, I think, changing the game in terms of how we've made this very easy, very accessible. You don't need to talk to a salesperson. You can see the pricing, it's upfront. You're going to see exactly whether this makes sense for you or not. And I pretty much guarantee it is going to make sense for you. And then there are options that once you've used Ultimate Lite, what can be after that, right? You get some great savings out of the gate. Is that everything that Ultimate does? And I'm happy to say that it's not, that we actually offer a lot more. So we're going to get into that as well. So we're going to move here through this pretty quickly. So AI is powerful, right? We've all seen amazing things being done with AI. Sometimes we kind of get shocked each and every day just how advanced it is becoming. However, it can become exceedingly expensive. And from our discussions with customers across many different companies working with data and working with AI, some interesting patterns are emerging. And some of these were even validated even yesterday in a conversation Pranesh and I had with a customer. The first thing is when you have AI, all of a sudden, everything seems to become an AI problem. And in the proverbial, when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. We start to see that happening where it doesn't always make sense, but sometimes people use AI for absolutely everything. And there's some inefficiencies, there's some costs, and there's some reason that starts to happen. And it's partly because they don't understand exactly what it is doing in terms of the cost. A lot of the time, it's hidden from the user themselves. There's the other type of person who jumps in as well and is like Maximilian, fable for everything, right? Whatever's the latest and greatest model, I'll use it, even if I'm doing a regex expression and I need help with it. And something like haiku from Anthropic would do exceedingly well. But I've always got to be on the latest and greatest. And of course, there's huge costs associated with being on these more reasoning thinking models. Then there's the fact that for most of us, we just get a bill, right? At the end of the day, you just say, how many tokens have I used? And you might not know exactly on what, for what. It'd be like going to, your favorite club warehouse, like Costco or Sam's Club, and getting a receipt after buying a whole ton of items, and they just give you the total. And every week you just go, you just get the total, and you're like, I don't know, last week it was $600. This week it's $1,300. What is the thing that's moving the price? I don't know. There's no prices. I just put things in my shopping cart. And this kind of feels very similar when you look at what's going on with AI. The other one is this can actually go crazy. We've all heard the story, right, of a company that should remain anonymous, but you can find out who it is, that ended up ratcheting up a bill of $500 million in 1 month, right? Because they didn't have checks and budgets in place. So, left to itself, you could view this as wow, the potential is huge. The opportunity to drive these costs or for people to use it to this extent is definitely there. You need to have visibility into what's going on. So these are kind of some of the things that we see happening. Now, if you put all of that together, what's the kind of the world you get? You've got a world where you don't know what the cost of anything is. You're using it like it's an infinite resource. I just keep using it, and it's like this is magical. I never run out of anything. It's like being in a Mad Max world, except you've got masses of gas behind you. There's no speed limits. You can do whatever. It can be kind of a free, crazy environment, and so that can be very scary. So, what can you do to kind of better understand or to better control this? And so, there's some simple questions, and these are things that actually can be somewhat difficult to get the answers to. So, just even things like who's consuming my AI credits? Maybe it's from an adoption perspective. You just want to understand, are people adopting? Is it just 10 people in my organization that are using all of these credits, or is it evenly distributed? Am I seeing certain users are using 10 times as much as someone else? Are there certain people that seem to be always using a certain service or a certain model and never use an appropriate model, but just become like Maximilian Fable and they just use the most expensive, most recent model to be released? Um, so there's things like that, just these basic questions. And so as part of this light application, we're providing you to have the ability to see into that, and we'll see that in a moment. Now, I also wanted to take a little moment and just give a plug for a project that our CTO released as an open source project that came out of a very real need within our own company. And that was to understand what is the cost, even down for like a single PR. So if an engineer is working on a feature or on a piece of development, and then they want to check it in, we can actually get a very detailed breakdown of what the kind of like the receipt would look like, along with what were the models, and even a fully itemized receipt where I can see the turns, the tool calls, and see exactly what was going on with the price. So now I can start to understand what is the price of the things that I'm seeing? What is the price of the activities that I'm using AI for? And what's also very cool about AI receipts, it's almost like you can have a taxi meter running in the bottom of your session. So if you're using an engineering harness like Claude or Codex, for example, you can see exactly what is going on as the AI is running, as inference is happening. You will get an updated what is the cost. So that's something that's free. It's an open source project. You can go find it, type in AI receipts, and search for that. You can use this QR code. You can go to the URL that we have on the screen. Okay, so we talked a bit about AI costs. Now, in the title, it's Ultimate Lite for AI and warehouse cost optimization. So, what about cost optimization and what about warehouses? So, I wanted to pause a little bit and talk about what can we actually do with warehouse optimization. So, Snowflake gives us a few levers and buttons that we can push and pull, right? You can pick, most people are probably largely using the size of the warehouse as being the first one, right? Is it a extra small? Is it 2XL? Is it a 6XL? And then there's also different warehouse types, and there's new ones coming available here in terms of how you want that set up, adaptive, or whether you want Gen 1 or Gen 2 warehouses, etc. Then there's a couple of other things here. There's auto-suspend. How many minutes of inactivity do you want? And often started out as being like a 10-minute inactivity, and then it got reduced to being the default as being 5 minutes. A lot of people go in and put it down to 1 minute, but sometimes that isn't the right answer. It's not always the right answer to be 1 minute. There's times when you need to know how to configure it. Also, there's things like scaling. You can scale now up to like 300 on some of the smaller warehouses, and 10 on the very large warehouses, and then a little bit of a different numbering in between. But multi-cluster is another area. Like, when do you spin it up? When do you spin it down? How do you know how aggressive you want to scale out or not? And then for some of you, you might have been even dabbling in max concurrency level, which is a parameter driven configuration that you can set as well. to define how many threads you want on each warehouse. So these are some of the things that you could tweak with and change. Now, there's more that you can do with that, and we're going to get into exactly what happens with what we're announcing. But these are the kind of things that you have available. These are the decisions that could be made on a daily basis to get optimization. So, what we're announcing today is this Ultimate Lite for AI and warehouse cost optimization. The QR code is there. Scan it. You can find it on the marketplace. Just search for Ultimate or cost optimization, and you'll find us there. Straight out of the bat, you can see you can try it now. You can have a 30-day free trial where you can just set it up right now, even while we're on this call, install it, and you can start using it for 30 days and get a real good sense of what it saves you and the visibility you get. And then after 30 days, you'll see what the pricing is, and it'll be very clear to you whether this makes sense. So, what are some of the results that we found? So, a couple of the customers that we have as part of our private preview, these are real customers, real world events. Um, what we have here is just some of the numbers, and it was pretty staggering, these numbers in terms of savings. Now, to activate a warehouse to have auto tune, an auto tune is our automated process for being able to evaluate your environment, your configuration, and set it appropriately, and to continually do that throughout the day. And we'll get into real specifics on that in a moment. However, if you look at this, just with these number of warehouses that they activated, these are the percentages that were saved. On certain days, especially on weekends, you often see a much higher savings amount because a lot of the time the workloads are not as consistent. And so it gets a bigger savings where it kicks in. So in some cases on the weekends, they were experiencing a 57.5% high daily savings. You can see the average across both customers, across all days on all warehouses was pretty much 19%. And the lowest we saw on any warehouse at any point was 12.4% for a daily saving. So really, really good numbers there, right? Very solid, very easy to see the benefit and the value. Now, the cool thing here is that we also didn't see any degradation in performance, didn't see any queue times being impacted by this. The environment behaved exactly the same in terms of performance and queue times. So, why does this work? How does this work? Well, as I mentioned, there's only a set number of parameters that we can change. We can't change the code in Snowflake. We can't change the cost-based optimizer and all of those kind of things, but we can change the config. And in any infra product, if you've managed them, you know that really config is everything. Those are the things that you can change. And what we have found is actually humans, when we used to do this, right? Some companies, you would look at the workload, you'd look at what was happening, you'd predict what was going to happen in the future, and you'd set your configuration and you would deploy it. And maybe you'd do this once a month. Maybe you'd go very aggressive and you'd be doing it once a week, looking at how are things going, what's the predicted workload, and keep changing it. Now, what was super interesting is when we thought, you know what, could AI make those decisions for us? Could we use software to decide what these configuration settings should be and could be by looking at what's happening in that environment and doing it? And we thought maybe it would become a daily thing where it would set the configuration per day. But when it was left to make those decisions, the frequency that it did actually shocked us. And it's changing config around every 5 to 6 seconds, which sounds insane. However, when you look at what the results that you get, it's actually pretty impressive, right? So it's changing at a pace that no human could be able to make these changes. Now, a lot of people say, well, we have auto-suspend from Snowflake. Doesn't that just fix everything if I just set it to be very aggressive? Well, if you look at how that works, Snowflake probes the environment every 30 seconds. Ultimate, in that 30 seconds when Snowflake has done one probe, we have done 10 probes. We have looked to see, are things idle? Are things needed to be changed? Has the workload changed? What's the prediction of a workload that's about to come as well? And to be able to understand that and to make those changes. Now, Ultimate Lite is something that is a version of our enterprise software. So we have Ultimate Enterprise, and Ultimate Enterprise contains lots of stuff, lots of additional features, and we'll talk a little bit about those at the very end. However, what this has done, it's been in the market for a lot longer than Ultimate Lite, and we've had customers for years using our product, and we've done billions of config changes trained with our enterprise AI. What that allowed us to do is to be able to build a distilled tuning model that we can put into a native app and run very, very cheaply in your marketplace, where it's secure, where the data doesn't leave, and you don't have to go through, potentially InfoSec if you've already had Snowflake Marketplace approved, and be able to experience this product in a very fast way and be able to get those benefits that we showed with the results of those savings of about 19% just from using one of our features, which is the auto tune. We do have additional features like auto resize, which is part of our enterprise offering. But to be able to create this very distilled, lightweight model, we focused on just the tuning component for shutting down clusters and for shutting down warehouses when appropriate. So now I'm going to hand over to Pranesh, and he's going to go ahead and give us a demo.
Thanks, Matthew. So let's look at the demo.
Yeah, hi everybody. Yeah, Pranesh, can you just add your screen too? There we go. Thank you.
Yes. Is it live?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So as Matthew was saying, the app is already live on the marketplace. This is my Snowflake instance. Like, you can just go search for Ultimate, and the app should show up. And in my instance, it's already installed, but you can, once you go here, you should be able to install it very easily. Once you install it, you are going to get a UI which looks something similar like this. So what the tool does is, of course, it will show you how your costs are trending, but it will also give you information right there on the top, how much of potential savings you can materialize by using the solution here per year. It will show you how many of your warehouses are auto-tune eligible, as well as on how many warehouses you have enabled it as well. It will show you a nice chart of how your costs are trending with different colors. So if you haven't turned on, say, auto-tune functionality on your warehouse, you will see these orange blocks, which will show you day by day how much potential cost saving you can get by turning on those additional warehouses also. And if you turn on few of those day by day, it will also show you how much of a cost is getting saved for you in that Snowflake account by doing these shutdowns, cluster adjustments, etc., through the auto-tune functionality. Now, turning the functionality on is very, very simple. You're going to see on this page the list of all of your warehouses, right? For each warehouse, of course, you will see size, estimated costs for last 30 days, but it will also show you, if you turn on this functionality, what will be estimated savings as well. So it will give you that number for last 30 days, as well as it will do the annual saving calculations for you. Now, if you find a warehouse.
Pranesh, sorry, 1 second. Sorry for interrupting, but we've had a request if you could just zoom in a little bit or make your browser a little bigger in terms of.
Okay.
Thank you.
So maybe let me zoom in on individual areas also a little bit. So on the warehouse side here, you will see the potential saving numbers, or if you have turned on the functionality, how much it has actually saved you also. So you'll see that number in green if you have turned on the functionality already. For a warehouse where you haven't turned on the functionality, it will show you potential savings number. Turning it on is super, super simple. You just go here and click a button. It's basically a slider that turns this thing on for you like this, and then it will start saving money for you. Once it starts operating, of course, you can click on a warehouse and it will show you a bunch of details on how exactly this functionality is working. So for this particular warehouse, pretty standard name, Compute WH, you will see different parameters, which is great. You'll see, okay, auto-tune is enabled. You can turn it on or off from this screen as well. It will give you a graph for just that particular warehouse. What we saw earlier was overall for all warehouses, but on a particular warehouse page, it will give you a graph of per day, how much savings are happening and how the costs are trending. But more importantly, this also gives you a history of what are the actions are being taken on that warehouse. So whether some nodes were suspended, maybe part of the cluster or part of the individual warehouse, how many decisions or actions were taken like this, you'll get a nice chart like this. For example, as Matthew was talking about, these actions happen at such a high frequency that a lot of times humanly it's not possible to do it. For example, if you look here, July 7, almost 118 decisions. As humans, we can't change our warehouse at that frequency in a day or within few hours, etc. And this system works 24/7. It will keep adjusting your warehouse so it runs at highest utilization and gives you maximum utilization of your infrastructure. Now this is on the warehouse page. Pretty simple. Just go it, turn it on. If you want to use some additional functionality, for example, auto resize, etc., for your warehouse, we haven't made it available in Ultimate Lite, but you can always contact us for the enterprise version, and we'll be happy to set you up with the free trial for enterprise version as well. Now, in addition to this functionality around auto tuning warehouse, we're talking about AI costs increasing. We are deploying a bunch of different AI models in Snowflake environment, different services. We have included a screen around giving visibility around all these AI costs also. So what it will show you, for example, in this graph, day by day, it will show you how your AI costs are trending. It will also show you aggregates during the last 30 days as well as the tokens you're consuming, how many users are consuming these services, and which AI services are actually being used as well. So there are about 8 services we track in this interface. Like for example, AI SQL functions, your code Snowflake, Cortex Code CLI, etc. All those services get tracked, and you will be able to see nice chart and visibility around this. You can also filter things. So on the right hand side, we give you few filters. So this information is available across 3 dimensions. One is services, second is users, and third is models. So you can go here. If there is a specific service you are very interested in, you can choose that service and get these things filtered out very easily also, like how many people are using. You can select multiple services, and based on that, this data will get filtered automatically for you. So for example, in this environment, just Snowflake Intelligence was used previously. So this slicing and dicing, you should be able to do very easily using this. Let me go back to the full view. In addition to this, we have created these tabs, service-based tab. You also have user-based tab. So certain users are consuming too much of AI, right? You will be able to see it right here. And when you filter it out, you can see service distribution for those users also. And last but not the least, same thing around models as well. So you'll be able to see which models are being used actively, how much those models are costing, how many tokens are getting consumed, etc. What is the percentage share of spend? All this information is available at the fingertips. But for some reason, if you want to export this information out and you want to do your own analysis in your AI agents, etc., you can export it as a CSV, and then you can start doing more things as well. Now, here, when it comes to AI services, we're just giving you visibility. But if you're more interested into the cost optimization around AI side of the things, services also do more analysis. Feel free to reach out to us that we offer in our enterprise trial as well. So these are some of the key pieces I wanted to cover from the demo perspective. Now, to go in, the couple more things I would like to cover. One is on the pricing side, as well as sort of that delta between Ultimate Lite Snowflake native app version, as well as what we offer in enterprise version. So let me go in full slide mode here. Matthew, are slides coming out okay?
Yep, look great.
Okay. So as Matthew was hinting at it earlier, purposefully we have set the bar so low just to sort of try out this amazing native app. First and foremost, there is 1 month free trial. So use it for free. as much as you want. Don't have to spend a dime on it. Okay. If you like it, what you see in a month, the starting price is at $100 per month. After first month, they start charging you $100 per month, and this charge gets consumed as a Snowflake credits, a Snowflake native app after all. The second part of it is, as you start turning these things on for different warehouses, we charge 2.5% of daily warehouse cost on which it gets turned on. So if you just turn it on one or two warehouses, we just charge for those warehouses, no matter even if you have hundreds of warehouses. To maybe explain it in a little bit other way, we charge $250 per $100 of daily warehouse costs. And we are pretty sure when you see those saving numbers in the UI, what I was showing you, those numbers are going to be way higher on the saving side compared to what we are charging you. So you can start with a couple of warehouses. That's what we have seen with a bunch of companies we have been working with. Start with a couple of warehouses, see how well it works for you, monitor costs closely, see in the audit history what are the actions the solution is taking. And once you feel comfortable, you can turn it on for more warehouses as well. Okay. So this is how the pricing works. The second part of it is, hey, what's the delta between Ultimate Lite and Ultimate
Just
Enterprise version?
sorry, Pranesh, just one thing. One question that's been coming in is about the compute cost. So how much does the app itself cost to run? And so just to speak to that, it's going to obviously be a bit of a range depending on the amount of data, the amount of warehouses you have in your environment. But what we've seen is in the range of $30 to $65 per month to run the Snowflake infrastructure, the SBCS fee for running this app. So that's the overhead there. So it's pretty low when you factor in everything and obviously the huge value and savings that you get from having auto tune switched on.
Thanks, Matthew. So second part of it is, hey, what's more to Ultimate? What is available in Ultimate Enterprise? And before jumping into that, one piece I want to highlight is, yes, Snowflake native app is new, but we have been building and maturing this functionality for a while now. There are a bunch of customers who have been using this functionality in their production environments at a scale of, there's some customers who run billion queries a week. At that level of scale, people have used it. And the functionality we offer, even on the Ultimate Enterprise side, which is additional to the light version, is auto resizing. So of course, we offer right sizing of warehouses automatically as your data workload shift. Second part we offer is what we call as a Ultimate AI Studio, which is a collaborative workspace with the agent, which allows you to sort of do all the AI analysis on top of all of these queries. You can generate reports, you can schedule reports, and it does a lot more granular analysis when it comes to savings as well as costs. And it's a team-based functionality we offer. So through our team-based functionality that we offer in Enterprise Edition, it integrates with SSO. You can define what your teams are, what their resources are, all the way up to the level of specific queries, specific tables, etc. Through that, you'll be able to do show back and charge back as well for your teams. The third part of it, and not yet in Ultimate Lite, is assisted optimization. So your teams are running a bunch of workloads, queries in Snowflake, and a lot of times the code can be improved or workload configurations can be improved. And not just for workloads, underlying tables, storage, your dbt models. We offer guided recommendations that you can assign to different teams and team members, and those can be applied very safely. Those assisted optimizations we also offer in our Enterprise Edition. Last but not the least, I'm not sure if you're aware, we launched Ultimate Code open source project, which is a CLI. We also have VS Code extension, which people can integrate in their development environment to prevent a lot of these costly mistakes like SQL issues, or hey, I need to update dbt model in a certain way, or it's going to cost a whole lot of money. All these things are available in Enterprise, but nonetheless, even just through light version, what we showed you with that AI cost observability, warehouse auto tuning, we can start saving tons of money just by that. And it's very simple to use. Just turn on those sliders and it will start doing things for you autonomously. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you on the demo and some of the pricing and the delta between Lite and Enterprise Edition. Matthew, would you like to conclude?
Yeah, thanks, Pranesh. So if you have any questions, please enter them in. We'll answer those right now. We have had some questions coming in, which we've been answering as we go. We have had a question about if you are doing activity temporarily where you don't want to optimize for whatever reason, can you pause Ultimate? And so for that one, yes, absolutely. You can just go in and just switch that toggle off, and immediately will stop making config recommendations, and it will leave it as the current settings. And then when you want to switch it back on, just turn it back on. So you can certainly do that. Let's see if there's any other questions. We did have the one around credit usage. How much is it for keeping the Ultimate account running our account? Again, that one we mentioned is between 30 to 65. Obviously, things can vary depending on the amount of warehouses you have, things like that. But it shouldn't be that significant. It should be pretty lightweight for an app that can be running, that is running 24/7. So it's a pretty low cost. There were some questions around audibility for changes. Is there any audibility for all the changes made? And yes, there is. There's that screen that Pranesh showed, but also you can download the decisions that are made as CSVs. So you can have access to that and be able to download and see those. Probably the most interesting one, well, not the most interesting, but an interesting one here is, are there plans to implement auto resize in the light version or to keep that with enterprise? I'll give my answer. Pranesh, feel free to give your answer. I would say never, but not currently. There's no current plans today. But we'll see as time move and models change. And if we have that ability, we always reevaluating.
Yeah, I believe you nailed it, right? The things change so rapidly in this day and age, and we are here for our users and customers. So depending on the requests, we might be able to make some things work there.
Right. I love this question from Nathan. For the Enterprise Edition, what data is used from the Snowflake account? Does Ultimate ever have access to the underlying data? I want to make one statement about Lite first, and then we'll answer the Enterprise one. So just to reemphasize, in the Marketplace native app, none of your data leaves, right? It's a walled garden. So it makes it really easy for teams that want to try this out and don't want to go through potentially a lengthy, InfoSec approval process for this, because it's purely running inside of your walled garden, inside of your environment. Obviously, for the Enterprise Edition, there's some things that are slightly different. So for our Enterprise Edition, it actually is a SaaS system where we are hosting and running models and doing computation on not your business data, but your query data, meaning your query history. It doesn't have to be query text. So it depends on what features you want in our product. But for auto resize, it doesn't have to have the query text. For things like assisted savings, where we analyze and give you suggestions on queries, how to improve them, obviously we need to be able to analyze that query text. But none of your business data is shared with us. It's a service account that would be connected purely to your telemetry of your data, not your actual data. So hopefully that relieves that. We've gone through this process with a variety of different financial institutions and also healthcare, and even healthcare in Europe, which has some of the strictest policies when it comes to security and InfoSec requirements. We are SOC 2 compliant as well, so we do have that in place as well. Okay, see if there's any other questions. I think we've answered most. I think people were asking about the GitHub location for Ultimate Code. You can find that from ultimate.ai. If you go there and you click on products, you'll see Ultimate Code. You can click on it. You will find links to the GitHub repo. Definitely check that out. And then also, if you are interested in AI receipts, you can just do a search on AI receipts, and you should find that. The the correct GitHub repo will be under Anand Gupta 42, who is our CTO here at Ultimate AI. And if you love that, he always appreciates a samosa. So just as a fun thing, but no obligations, just a little bit of fun. And once again, thank you for everyone for joining. We hope you try it out. Please give us feedback, whether it's good or bad. We love to hear what are your experiences. Are you getting value from it? We'd love to hear what things you would love for us to do that we don't currently offer that you think, hey, it'd be great if someone did that. Please talk to us. Or if you just want to chat about what should I be doing with AI in terms of my organization. It's a bit of a minefield right now, I feel like. We are speaking to lots of different customers every single day. So we're happy to bring some of those learnings so you can understand what are other people doing? How should I think about AI? How should I think about data engineering in context with AI? And how can I do it with the same approach? And so happy to speak to you about that. Again, no obligations, no high pressure sales, just love to communicate as a product team with people. And if there's any value, then definitely, would love to, have you use our products as well. But thanks again for joining. Please share this with anyone that you think might find it useful. Please reach out to myself and Pranesh. We'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. And we look forward to maybe seeing you in some future webinars from Ultimate.
Awesome. Thanks so much, folks. Have a great day.